Okay, going to go ahead and do a little bit of introduction here to AutoCAD. So the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to do a quick introduction to how we work with AutoCAD. So first of all, when you start AutoCAD, you will probably, if you're here at Monroe Community College, you're not going to see this screen because they don't have it, but that's okay. You can start drawing just the same. So to start a drawing, you would go up here, and there's these icons at the upper left of your screen. You've got this one that says New, and you have this one right here that allows you to go ahead and go to New as well. They both do the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and click on New. So when I click on New, it starts this up right here, and this is where it brings you into different templates. And the template that most often is going to be used is this AutoCAD template. Now, I'm just going to have us use this. This is the same template that has been in use since 1989, as long as I've been using AutoCAD. So we're just going to start with this, no frills, and we'll take it from there. So a template is essentially just a blank drawing. So we open that up and we come into AutoCAD. Now, first of all, one of the things that you're going to have to deal with is this. When you start AutoCAD again, at Monroe Community College, and also by default, you're going to notice a couple of these things are turned off. For instance, coordinates is not turned on, dynamic input's not turned on, line weight's not turned on by default, units is not turned on by default. Okay, now, so what you want to do is when you come in here, you'll notice that down here, this is your status bar, down here, where it says model, you see this says model here, and up here this says model space. This check mark means that this is showing up here. The next one over is this grid. It looks like kind of a hashtag thing, and grid is the next one down. So we need to turn on a few things here. Coordinates, and then we're going to turn on dynamic input, and then we're going to turn on line weight, and we're going to turn on units. Okay, when we do that, these show up down here on the status bar. And that's just something that you want to do. By the way, to get into this customization menu, I clicked on this down here. There's these three horizontal lines. That's how you tweak that. So you want to do that. The next thing you're going to see is right here, I've actually got I changed my my command line here so it looks like AutoCAD looked like in 2019, but yours will be white, so you don't have to worry about this. Yours is going to be white, just leave it like that. If it's floating, however, if it's kind of like this, then what you want to do is you want to grab the two columns of dots and just drag it down. I'm holding the cursor down, I drag it, and as I drag it down, you'll notice it becomes like a rectangle. I let it go, and then it docks. Those are a couple things you want to deal with there. The last thing you're going to want to look at here, not the last, but the next, is over here as you're working with AutoCAD, is at the top here, I've got something here called the menu bar. So I'm going to hide the menu bar, and you'll see at the top it disappears. I've got my regular ribbon, which is here where it says Home, and this is the Home tab on the ribbon, and this is the Draw panel, and I can get more content by clicking on these arrows down here, and if I want to keep that open, I can click the tab. And this gives me more content right here. So that's kind of like the lay of the land. So you can pretty much get everything done through the ribbon, but I like to have this on up here. I like to teach my students this because it's another way to access the same stuff. There's a lot of redundancy in AutoCAD, and that's okay. And going up here to draw, you've got the same tools here that I just showed you a second ago. You got draw, you've got here you got the line command, circle, and these others right here. So line, circle, and so forth. So they're all available. So once you got that right there, that is the basic lay of the land. That is a basic introduction to how AutoCAD works. I'll show you one or two other things. If you hover your cursor over a command, in this case, I'm just hovering the cursor over the line command. When I do that, you're going to notice a couple things happen. First of all, it gives you a little preview of help, then it gives you a big display of help. And if I were to press the F1, if you look there, it says press F1 for more help. So I press F1 and watch what happens. This brings me into the AutoCAD help. Now, when I was a young whippersnapper and I was first learning AutoCAD, I learned everything through a printed manual that came along with it, the AutoCAD user manual. Well, now all that is online. And so here's the great thing about it. If I want to learn about the line command, I can go down here and read all about it. And in some of these, there's actually a little video that goes along with it. So I can do that, and then I can, if I don't know where the command is, I can go here and click on Find. And the Find button goes ahead and, let me pull this down here, so it says I can't see it. Let me try it again. I hit the Find button. No, it's not finding it. Anyway, let me try to move this around a little bit more because sometimes it does that. Even if it can find it, it doesn't. Yeah, it says it can't find it. But in reality, it can. It'll give you a little arrow that points to the line command. You'll see how that works. I can type in circle, see if that works better. So type in circle. I'm going to go to the circle command. Let's see if it does that. So I go to find. No, it's not doing it right now because I'm running this other thing. But you get the idea. You can find any kind of command that you want to through here, and we'll actually show you where it's at. Okay. Next thing, when you're working with AutoCAD, there's several different ways to do anything. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple things here real quick, and this is kind of my AutoCAD introduction, kind of the fast, quick start type thing. So if you go to the line command and you start it, watch what you get. I start the line command and notice what it says. I took my hand off the mouse. I've got a big plus sign, and next to it is a prompt. The prompt says specify first point, and then it gives me coordinates. And if I move the cursor, those coordinates change, okay? So another thing you're going to see is down here, it also says line first point down here at the very bottom. So your command line and your prompt say the same thing. So I'm going to just pick a point here and drag my cursor over. And as I drag my cursor over, it's asking me what the distance is. Well, now another thing's happened here. I now have something else here. So if I go along here, you'll notice that it says, at my prompt, it says specify next point or. So now I've got another choice. And look at your command line, it tells you what that choice is, or undo. The word undo is here. The U is capitalized, meaning that if you type the letter U, it's going to invoke that command. Also, it's highlighted in red, so that tells you what's going on there. So if I were to go over here and I were to type in, let's say 5, hit my enter key, well now it still says this or undo. I'm going to type in 5 again. Now once I've done this, notice that there's yet another option. I've got close, and now I have undo. Close is new. That means if I choose the close option, it'll close this. It'll close this object, okay? And I've got undo here as well. But I'm just going to show you one more thing. I go over here, and as I'm in this command, if I want to draw a 5 by 5 square, and I make a mistake, I fat finger and I type in 7, hit enter. Well, now I drew it too long. So what I'm going to do is to fix that, I can go ahead and use this undo option. I can do it by clicking here, typing in the letter U and hitting enter, or right-clicking my mouse and choosing undo. The same option is right up here, undo. So I can do it any of those ways. When I undo it, it brings it back to here. So now when I've got that, it drops me over to here, and now I can type in the correct value, 5, and I hit my enter key. And then I toggle my cursor this way, and I want to use the close option this time. So to do that, I'm going to type the letter C and hit my enter key. And when I do that, it closes it. So that's a quick introduction to how you would begin to work with the interface in AutoCAD. You have to read what's being said, you have to look at what the options are, and make your choice accordingly. There's always going to be a default option like pick a point, pick a point, pick a point, but if you want to do something like undo where you just were, or you want to close it, those are options that are available to you right there. Let's see here, I think that covers the very basics. And yeah, that'll get us started right there. And then at that point, you can save the drawing by using one of these up here. I'm just going to use Save As, and I'm just going to save it to my desktop. And by default, it saves as a DWG. That's the file extension native. I'm going to go ahead and call this Tom's Practice. What the heck? Tom's Practice, and hit my enter key, boom, done. All right, and that's an introduction to AutoCAD. So what I'd like you guys to do is, as you're going through this, just realize that those are this, and there's more to it than this, but I'm just trying to give you a quick start to show you, okay, now you've got at least enough to start putting lines down. And the next lesson, we're going to get into layers.